Good afternoon. It is January 8th, 2026, and today, uh, really, we had a range day. Um, on the daily chart, it turned out to have a bull body. You can see we're just finding support at the top of this range, but also the EMA. So if we break out higher, this EMA will point up and eventually go through the wick of this candle. So I think that's all that's happening. But anyway, in the overnight, we had this big move down, and that created this range, but we kept making higher lows. So I suspected, we're trying to go higher, but we couldn't quite make it to the even the highs of this range. But we couldn't make it to the highs of this channel. However, I think the bias felt like it was up, so we'll talk about that further. Let's dive in. So you can see there's about a 50% correction before it finds resistance, and then it kind of just chops around. And 5 o'clock comes in as we're topping off, making this double top. And I don't think you'd be playing this as a range. I think you'd be looking at it as this bear channel. So uh, I think it's reasonable to consider getting short below this bar. Um, you know, it's a tough call, but I think that's reasonable. And then again, I think maybe not below the bar, but I think it might be reasonable to take an entry on a limit order. Let's see. But the problem is you'd have to like put your stop initially all the way up here, and that's pretty big, and you might not want to do that. But if you get in, right at let's say 57.75, let's call it 9 points. Nine point risk for 6 point reward. It's not terrible. Uh, and when this bar forms, it gives you a little bit of confidence. We make a new low after the break of this bear channel. Higher low, boom, test that level again, sell off. You get a failed second entry long and a breakout pullback. I think you can consider entering on that. It looks like a failure, and that's what it is. And then we just get support down here. And I think if you're being aggressive, you take that double bottom, lower low. But you can see it traps you right there. So that's another thing is, again, you probably want to, it's tough. You go long here, you get stopped out. You go long here, then you get the move. So, you really got to you got to know exactly what you're doing and what you want. Um, so anyway, come back to probably the midline of this range before finding resistance, dropping back to the EMA, bouncing again. We find resistance in that midline area, that upper range area, sell off, confirm this trend line, and we bounce. And I'm not buying this just yet, but here you can see we got, you know, we got a bull move up, we get a break, move to a new high, and we get this range. A lot of overlap, a lot of congestion. Don't enter in here. I mean, maybe you could enter on a limit order to sell up here. Um, Break below the EMA, come back, test the high, sell off. It's probably just a measured move before we bounce, higher low. Again, you can enter on limit orders here. You know, let's mark this. Can you enter on a limit order long here? I think at this point, yeah, you can consider it because we're near the level of support at the bottom of the channel. Um, and this, is proving to be a level of support. So we have basically a double bottom here, lower low. So you could bet when this stalls that we're going higher, and that's what it does. And then, it gets congestion in here again. I don't know how much I like this because you get congestion here, then you get congestion here, then you get congestion here. And what you want to see is quick reversals, quick reversal, quick reversal. Um, and you're just not seeing that up here anymore. You're seeing that down here though. And so maybe you consider buying right there when you get this bull bar. And then we don't make it back to the lows of this channel. Um, and so we break out temporarily, but uh, this sell-off takes back that whole move and then some. Um, you could argue for this to be a failed second entry long and take that. And then we just get some congestion. It breaks lower, two legs down, it reverses. And there's just a lot of flip-flopping and overlap. It's tough to trade days like this, in my opinion. You want to take a trade early and get out, and it's called Al Brooks calls it a trending trading range day. So you get these ranges, you break higher, you get these ranges, you break higher, and it's, yeah, in my opinion, it's tough to trade. So you can see we gapped over the highs of this range, and then we sold off. So what's the day looking like? It's bare body so far. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow.